Welcome back. This is going to be another GeoStealth R1 partless rundown, and this is the Traxxas M-41 Catamaran. So I'm gonna wait for people to start joining into the conversation about this RC. A little bit of history, and also what am I gonna be doing with this, and what upgrades are gonna be happening very soon. RC for Life, what's going on? Chicago RC. I think RC for Life just got you. RC Eruptions, Marco Polo, what's going on? He just got you by a millisecond. Chevy Brother, Outlaw RC, what's going on? My people in Chicago, I think you're an hour away. RC Kings, it won't load. Same here in Chicago. It won't load. Never mind, it works. All right, excellent. All right, so I'm gonna wait for a few people to start coming in. I'm gonna give you a discussion of this catamaran and primarily what I'm going to be doing and what's going to be happening. Ivan or Ivan, what's going on? Derek, what's happening? Brian, what's going on? Thumbs up. I'm going to be doing two updates in today, possible three. Uh, I don't know why I'm watching this because I don't like boats. You know what? I bought the boat. One, because I don't have a boat. Two, because I want to see a different type of aspect on customizing a boat. So, but hey, it's a Geo live stream. Oh, thank you very much, RC King. I wanted just to customize something, and a boat's something I never customized. And a lot of now, mind you, a lot of people are not in boats. I didn't even know you had boats. Oh, I have a lot of stuff, buddy. um, and a lot of people, buy these boats, and none of them really customize it, which I found kind of surprising, especially my channel being a customization channel. Why did I buy this boat? Well, a few reasons. I always wanted to get a Spartan, and I never bought a Spartan, and the M41 came out, and I was very interested in finding out what is the M41 all about. And I know the Spartan is faster and a whole bunch of other things, but this was a much bigger, substantial boat out there. And I was thinking about the type of company that I'd want to have this thing upgraded with. And the first company that was able to have upgrades is Hot Racing. If you guys want a part list of what initially I have in this boat right now, in the description below, you'll be able to see the part list on there. So I ended up taking this on the water once. The problem was that the controller that I had wasn't the main controller for this boat, and I didn't have a phone with the Traxxas adaptation app, and I needed to take out the steering at least at 120 both. Yeah, there are boats that go 100 miles per hour. And I didn't, and it was only at 100, so the steering on this thing was messed up. Even after all the upgrades that I ended up putting on this, and I was very 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 upset because I didn't get to really experience what this boat can do. But next season I'm going to be taking it back on the lake when I do when I do a barbecue at the when I do camping and stuff like that. I didn't really showcase the whole camping experience. Hopefully I'll be able to just shoot a video for you guys and showcase all the RCs that I do camping with. Most likely it's going to be an SCX-10 that I'm going to bring there. I'll probably bring a boat, and also I'll probably bring an X-Max or slash 4x4 or the Stampede two-wheel drive. So that being said, I wanted to fully upgrade this with all the bells and whistles that I think personally a boat should have. Now, primarily, I was going to buy a specific white hull for this, but I like the Traxxas scheme that's on this, which it definitely has a nice colorization on there, to where they did pretty good on having their custom design on the Traxxas M41 Catamaran, which I think it was a pretty cool idea from Traxxas to do that. So that being said, I'm going to talk about the updates that I have done to this boat, and what I plan to do with the boat in the future. Um, Here we go. Let's start this off. All right. So we'll start off with the back, which people are interested in finding out a little bit more about the back processes of this. So everything is HR. Hot Racing. If you guys don't know what Hot Racing is, it's an RC company that makes a lot of aluminum parts. I ended up getting the dual input output rudder for this. I ended up, I have no idea what these are called, but but it does give me a little bit more of an articulation when I'm driving the boat. If you guys know what it is, just leave me a comment, um, and that will definitely be helping me out on this video. As for the tubing, I ended up changing out all the system setup on the tubing as well. I ended up taking out the rod end for the propeller and re-greasing it with marine grease. The cool thing is that when you do get this boat, it comes with all stainless steel screws, which was definitely great additive because most of Traxxas parts do not come with the stainless steel screws, which I like the fact that this RC did come with all the stainless steel. I wish Traxxas gave you an option of a kit to have stainless steel on their RCs, which would definitely be cool because you put a few companies out of business that in actuality do stainless steel screws. But it would definitely be a cool option for Traxxas to do that. Also, my propeller. It is a brass propeller. The only con I have about this propeller is I should have got this anodized in blue, and they do sell it anodized in blue, but I never did it. The fuel tubing I utilized was a little bit thicker than most for the intake and outtake of this system, which I think I should have done something with it, but I did not. So that being said, um, that that aspect of it, I had to do a little bit of fabrication on there. Let me see if I can bring this a little bit closer. I know there's not that much light, but I ended up having to put a hole right here for the intake outtake, which was definitely a cool feature that I liked customizing this, which was kind of weird because I've never customized the boat. And to me, this is definitely a cool project for me to do in doing my customization, my take on what this catamaran should do. And all the upgrades and updates that you can do. Now, there's a lot of aesthetic things that I've put on this that a lot of people won't be even interested in doing. But this is, I primarily wanted to have this thing fully integrated with the Geo Stealth R1 type of setup. So, as I crack open the top of the hull, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight of what's in the internal components of this unit. As you can see, I do have two brand new Traxxas. I'm talking about brand new. I have a lot of these batteries that I have not even been opened, factory sealed. I have not opened these batteries yet. I utilized other batteries that were a little puffage, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to have that set up to where it's going to have everything brand new in it. But there are a few things that I want to upgrade and update on this. Let me get the camera just a little. You know, that's as far I think as I'm going to go with the camera. I wanted to have a few more updates and upgrades with this thing. I mean, I'm pretty excited about this RC. Let me see if I can get the light a little bit better. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that a little bit better, but you can see the internal parts of the of the components that are installed in there. Now, a lot of people are telling me, you know what, hey Geo, a few people that are into the boat thing, hey Geo, can you come across and start setting up something to where it's a bigger motor or bigger ESC for this thing to go 8S? And that's something interesting that I thought about, but there's a lot of workings that have to do with that. So I'll talk about internally what I've done with this boat and what I plan to do with the boat and what future upgrades I have with this. I'm very excited about the M-41 Catamaran because not too many people have updated this RC to its full potential of customization. So I'm going to talk about the wire mesh. So you guys know I'm a big proprietary of wire mesh. I think what wire mesh does to your RC, it just gives it just a little bit of more customization. So as you can see, I went multicolored to match the theme of the boat. I noticed that the boat had yellow, purple, green. The boat had pink, the boat had blue, the boat had red. I said, you know what, I'm going to go with that colorization in my internal wiring into this RC, which I think it gave a little bit of a splash to it, which was something cool that I enjoyed doing. It's a little bit tricky once you start doing the wire meshing on the RC, but definitely, even in each and every one of your RCs out there, throwing in wire mesh doesn't hurt. It gives it just a little bit more of a pop, and people are very interested once you start doing that. Also, as you guys can see, the ESC can handle 6S. The other internal components I have on this is I ended up getting the motor mount from Hot Racing as well, which is a cool additive feature that came out a little bit after the cooling jacket that I got from Hot Racing as well. Also, since this is on water, I want a little bit more of a telemetry expander on there. So I threw the telemetry expander kit right there, threw some stainless steel screws, and the GPS is installed. I want to see how fast this boat can go. You know, realistically speaking, Traxxas says about 50 miles an hour. 50 miles an hour on water is insane. The roosters this thing is able to produce, it's pretty incredible. So that was a little update that I do. The one thing I do want to change out is my servo. Now, the servo that I have in here is the 2056. Now, preferably, I would be more inclined to do a 2057 or go with the waterproof Savox servo, depending on, you know, how much I want to integrate into this RC. And as you can see, I have the internal feature where everything is going through the ESC, through the motor and everything like that. And the outboard is on there as well. These are some things that I do want to upgrade on this RC. And I think if you do plan to get a boat, like I said, a lot of people don't do customizations like this. The reason why I do a lot of customizations for you guys that watch my channel is, you know what, your RC can be better than what it is when you first acquired it and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people like to customize, make their stuff realistic, or make their stuff stand out for somebody differently. So these are the type of upgrades that I try to do to for you guys to check it out and see if it works, you know, on your hobby. I'm not sponsored by Hot Racing. I wish I was because all my RCs would be Hot Racing and stuff like that. So that would be a cool thing. But you know, I'm not sponsored by them. But this is where I'm at with the boat at this time. So I'm gonna go over a few of the questions that you guys have been asking since I've been rambling on. RC Fly says, I didn't even know you had boats. Sick, I love it. Sup, Geo. That is from Chevy Brothers Outlaws RC. What's going on? I have atomic. RC King says I have an atomic barbed wire, but it got caught on fire. So that's my experience with boats. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Derek Burns, aka Big Mac. It's is it hard to customize boats? Yeah, it is because you know a lot of people don't do it. They just you know cover the hull and that's primarily it. Ivan B, make an R1 customization video. Oh, of my motorcycle? I'm not too sure if a lot of people on the RC channel would like to see that. Everything that I've done with my R1, but that's something that I could do something in spring for you guys to see exactly what I've installed, what hidden secrets I have in my R1. Just to tell you, one hidden secret, my R1 is not governed, and mostly all the motorcycles out there are governed at 187. I have no governor, and there's a lot of things that I've installed. If you guys think that I hook up my RC vehicles, just imagine what I do with my boat with my motorcycle. RC for life, 100 miles per hour. Nah. RC for life. Do you really have to lube the flex shaft every 3 runs? From what I understand, yes, because it does dissipate very quickly. So that's a recommendation that I would say yes to do that. It's very simple to do it, so it's you know it takes you 15 minutes, not too crazy. Dennis says the new barbed wire 2 is coming out soon. I have to be your first. Also, quick little boat. Oh, I never heard of the barbed wire. RC King, yeah, for all my boats. I don't know for Traxxas though. Dennis, definitely have to relube the boats or else it will wear and leak, which I don't want that. Lewis LPRCs, what's going on? I ended up checking out the latest videos. Thank you for the shout out that you gave me on your channel. Let me see. I don't even know how to say. Am I Top Gun? Am I a Top Gun? TSM, yes, this has TSM installed into it. So out the box, you're looking to have TSM pretty much installed into the RC. Mama Monster 8S. The problem with having the Mama Monster system, the heating issue, and I don't know if they make a cooling jacket as of. They should have a cooling jacket as of yet, but this is kind of like having a Mama Monster 2200 kV motor in there. You definitely have to put an 8S setup. I just finished making 2 videos. Just I have to edit them. Yeah, I definitely want to check that out. RC King. For me, whenever I upgrade, I make sure stuff to break. Yeah, you know, I upgrade my RCs before they break. So those are just things I like to do. Lewis LP says, I'm making an Into G and hot racing. Let me see. Hot racing, rich with all the money I spent on them. Uh, you can't. People who watch my channel know. A lot of people don't know. They see customizations and they just throw it out there. People who watch my channel who have been watching my rundown series part list know that a lot of money has been invested in my RCs. And people who watch my channel know, bam, Gio spent a ton of money to customize primarily anything. I wish there were companies out there that sponsored me. Um, who knows? You know, where are we at? Let me see. I like motorboats. Lewis LP, hot. You corrected yourself. Jumpstart RC. I got to ride my friend's R1 60 to 150. It's so fast. Yeah, man. Me riding motorcycles, like I said, I have no governor. Top speed I ever did on my R1 is 194. I mean, if you guys were able to check out a few of my channels, you guys would know that I'm getting a tattoo with gears and a whole bunch of other things on my arm. That's how much I'm into RC life, to motorcycle life. And I might do an RC stuff on myself as well. Lewis LPRC says tons of money, of course. RC King, should I get a gunmetal shock towers for my slash? I say go RPM. I mean, once aluminum bends, it bends, so you kind of put yourself in a bad position with that. So, yeah, so that's primarily what I've done with my Traxxas M-41 Catamaran, which is definitely a cool RC to acquire if you do plan to buy a boat. The cons of it, make sure you know people that have boats as well, because it's definitely cooler to have people with boats than without boats, because then you put yourself in a position where you're the only one that's driving your boat and you're pretty much stuck on that type of scenario, because now you are driving the boat by yourself. It's kind of like crawling. Crawling is cool, but crawling with people is a lot better. So anyway, hopefully this video is informative to you. If you do like the content, once again, I'll always say, give me a thumbs up. I just like to syndicate all these partless videos. That's in the description below. You'll be able to see everything that I've installed into the RC. This RC does not have a name. If you look at my older videos, you'll notice that some RCs, 70% of my RCs are named, and 70% and the other 30% are not named. So I'm trying to name these guys. One of the YouTubers out there, in actuality, named three YouTubers out there have named my RC. Dark Eclectic Heart named my X01 Breakneck. So I ended up going with the theme Breakneck. Somebody named my Traxxas Rally, my Trax Rally. I believe the name of that one is called Cobblestone. Then another YouTuber just recently named my Traxxas Fortec, and the Fortec was named Goose Chase because I had Grey Goose over there, and he liked the fact that I drank vodka. So I thought that was a cool name and stuff like that. I am gonna do a Grey Goose theme on the on that RC. But like I said, if you have any interesting names, definitely leave it in the comment section below. Not in the OpenScape video, but because I'm not going to be able to see it. But in the comment section after the video is done, definitely leave a name. What would you want to call this? I mean, there are a few RCs that I have not named. I'll even go across and tell you which an RC that's literally on the floor right here. He has no name. The slash two-wheel drive HGC. So that's primarily it. There's a few RCs that haven't been named on there. So once again, hopefully this video is informative. I'm very happy that you guys were able to join today's session. I might be doing another partless rundown in a few. I just have to take care of a little bit of paperwork, and then I'll do another partless rundown. So I'm glad you guys were able to enjoy. If you ever have any questions, definitely hit me up on Twitter. Definitely hit me up on Instagram, on Google Plus, and also on Yahoo. Every single one of those are GeoStealth R1. So thank you for joining. Rate, comment, subscribe. Until my fellas up on YouTube. Later.